I don't know what's up with some Browns fans. I don't understand why you can say when somebody plays bad, they play bad, but you can't give nobody credit when they play good. How does a quarterback trigger so many of his own fan base? We'll ask that when we come back on this episode of The Ultimate Browns. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It's your boy G. Bush, right back with another episode of the Ultimate Browns. Want to appreciate everybody for rocking and rolling with us, and we got a great show as planned as always. Good news on the home front. Nick Chubb returns to practice coming up on Wednesday. We'll talk about his return, what that means for the Browns, and can we possibly see him this week? We'll talk about that coming up as well. Jerry Jeudy said, what? Yeah, man. Jerry Jeudy was trying to be honest with some comments, but it only made the team look kind of shaky. We'll talk about what Jerry Jeudy actually said, and was this the right thing for him to do to divulge this? Mary Kay asked him a question, and I don't think he answered it the right way. We'll talk about that a little bit. But first, all 22 is out. And, me, I talk a lot of good noise and all this jazz. And after the game, I said I thought Deshaun Watson played well. I watched the all 22 and I thought he played better than well. I thought he played a good football game. I thought Deshaun Watson on first watch while I was looking at home, I thought he wasn't helped out at all by his comrades. And to me, this is the best game that Deshaun has played throw for throw. In terms of composure, in terms of watching a football game. But if you're in your feelings or you're in your bag or you just want to make it be a situation where Deshaun Watson plays horrible and that's what you're going to stick to, then you're going to look at the stats and say, well, he only threw for this many points, or he only had this many yards, or he only did this. Teams are supposed to lead on the quarterback. He is supposed to be brought 234. He's supposed to. And frankly, it's so confusing to me why in your own fan base that you got people that can't even keep it 100%. Like, come on, guys, bro, this is getting corny. Like, keep it 100%. I was a guy who called Deshaun Watson out right on these airwaves and last week and said, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, because our roster is not good enough to get us there. And if I'm able to call Deshaun Watson out for being horrible against the Cowboys and being and not doing certain things the first part of the year, if I can say you play bad, well, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if he played good, you don't have to do gymnastics to try to minimize if a person played good or not, man. And it just opens this level up to me. And what I did is a little exercise to show people, because a lot of people want to act like there's no bias involved and there's nothing involved in this. Is people just saying because the team isn't successful. That's a bunch of BS. There's lots of things involved. And one of the reasons that we can't get rid of any situation of and talk about a quarterback moving forward is because half of the fan base is still stuck on a guy that they cannot keep out of their mouth. Every conversation, you got people, did you see Baker yesterday? Did you see Baker? Listen, bro, Baker ain't going to lead them to no championship. And when Baker was here, Baker wasn't even playing that well. He had some moments. I'm not hating on him. I congratulate him. But some of this is not about Baker or Deshaun Watson. It's about the insecurities of the fan base. You know, when you like to think that some people are in the middle and people understand certain things, right? And that you can be honest and truthful about whether somebody plays good or not. But in this fan base, it ain't nowhere like that. You got people bending over backwards to say that he was somehow not good. So what I did is a little experiment, because sometimes you gotta actually show people, and you got to actually show you where people are actually being biased at. So here's what we did. And let me go ahead and take this down. I just threw this up. I didn't say nothing with it. I just threw it up on Twitter. These are the passing grades from this past week. I did a little experiment. I said, you know what? If I just post these, right? If I just put them up there, I want to see what Browns fans say. You know, you got Lamar Jackson right here at the top. He has believe a 88 grade in terms of his offensive grade. You look to the right, his passing grade was a 92%. You also see right underneath him is Deshaun Watson with an 86 grade, as well as an 88 grade in his passing grade. Now, we have no problems showing Deshaun Watson's PFF grades when he's bad. We have no problems showing Deshaun Watson's film and cut-ups when he's bad. We have no problems going around saying, "Oh, listen, we need to cut bait," right? And I don't got no problems co-signing when he looks confused, when he looks like he loses some arm strength, when he's out here and has no pocket presence. And we have Sean King on every single week. We talked about him holding on to the football a little bit too long with DeJuan Jones last week when he's getting at the top of his throw and needs to let that ball go, right? That caused a strip sack. If we have no problem saying that, then you should have no problem saying, you know what? I thought Deshaun Watson played a really good game, and he wasn't the reason they lost this game. I thought he put him in position to make plays. His center didn't do a good job of snapping him the football. His center got called back for a whole 82-yard holding. His number one receiver, Amari Cooper, looks lost 96% of the time, and he caused an interception. His tackle, DeJuan Jones, on a wide open play, didn't block anyone, which caused the altercation on the sideline. We could continue to go on and on and on and on, right? We could say that. But all I did is put the numbers up there. And the numbers don't lie. The film don't lie. I've taken a look at the All-22 twice. You can count the times on your hand where he's made a poor decision. I've watched the All-22. I've seen the last play of the game in which we talked about that on UCSS, and Tyvis explained, what are you talking about? Jordan Akins is not open and running cover two. And the only reason Deshaun Watson is seeing Jerry Jeudy come sneaking over the middle is because he's looking the opposite directions at Jordan Akins, and then he glances and comes open, and Jerry Jeudy is there for a split second before he gets zero pressure right up the A-gap because Zach Zenner loses the battle up front. I wouldn't expect you guys to understand that, and you could throw me the screenshots and we could talk about it. But I just put the passing grades up here because you wouldn't have known how triggered people got. See, the truth triggers people a little bit. And if you weren't biased and if you weren't over the top, you would have no problem saying that Deshaun Watson played well in this game. And you would like to see him continue on this trajectory. But if you're inside your pockets and if you extra bias and you wanted to get rid of him after the allegations and you wanted to get rid of him prior to this year, you thought and you had all these things in your back pocket, well, you might seem kind of crazy because when I put this up and you see that Deshaun Watson had a higher grade than Baker, who you thought played well, Dak Prescott, highest paid quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, he is who he is. The guy Andy Dalton, who you say, oh, Andy Dalton was balling against those against the Raiders. He should have carved them up too. Joe Burrow's at 10. Shout out to Bull. Jared Goff is down there. CJ Stroud, who we always hear comparisons about. Aaron Rodgers is below. Here's the thing. As a person who watches football and a person who understands football is week to week, you should have no problems taking this information and saying, you know what? Based on this information and based on what we saw and based on some of the other things that his teammates didn't help him with, we can clearly say that Deshaun Watson had one of his better games as a Cleveland Brown, and hopefully he can extend that and get it to a point where we stop making certain mistakes. He can stay consistent and hopefully put some more points on the board. Did he play like Joe Montana in the Super Bowl? No. There's some plays that he missed a little bit. Yeah. There's just some plays on the fourth down that you have that you don't want to take a sack. Yeah, sure. But here's the overarching thing. I can be even. I can say when he plays a good game and when he plays a bad game. But here's the problem with half of your fan base. Here's the problem with half of your fan base. I don't think they can do the same thing. Let's take a look at it. I had to pull some tweets. Mind you, I just put it up there. I just showed that where he was at. And this is the responses I got from Browns fans. Before you take a victory lap or loss to the Raiders, can you podcasters please be aware that the Raiders are one of the worst defenses in football and gave up 22, 23, and 36 to Andy Dalton, yet the Browns only scored 16 points. We played against the trash and still had less than 300 yards. Well, listen, Joker, not very many people are getting over 300 yards now. I don't know if you noticed the league is kind of down, and I don't know if you took a look at those stats, but we're talking about quarterback competency. It looks like somebody else at the independent, if you're going to take PFF's word when his grades are trash, you have to take their word when he plays pretty good. By the way, here's the thing that I always talk about with the quarterback position. Notice in every one of these tweets, they mention nobody else on the team. They don't mention anybody else's errors. They don't mention the kicker. They don't mention the center. They don't mention holding, false starts, bad penalties, coaching. They mention none of the above. When you say they've given up 22, 23, and 36 to Andy Dalton, do you understand that the Browns defense gave up 156 yards to a team that never even had over 50 yards the first 2 weeks of the 3 weeks of the season? There's no mention of the Browns defense there. There's no mention of the fact that their best offensive player was not there and they gave up 20 plus points. So again, we are micro and hyper focused on proving whether or not the quarterback is correct, proving if the quarterback is good or not, and not acknowledging that we're taking positive steps at the quarterback position in order to get it in a place where, hey, we need to have everybody playing at a certain level. We'll continue on. Mind you, I just posted the stats. And here's the big problem. Weren't you guys critical of a former quarterback when he doesn't win the game in the final drive? And here's the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is let's be clear. There's thousands of Baker Mayfield fans that are still butthurt that Baker Mayfield's not here. It doesn't matter what Deshaun Watson does. There are people that only view the Cleveland Browns through Baker Mayfield lenses. I don't know if it's some sort of cult. I don't know what it is. We do shows on UCSS, and we have to mention the man's name every game, every show. But did you see what Baker did? Like, there were people literally that I work with that said they were going to root for the Panthers because of Baker Mayfield, that are in sports talk radio, that work in Cleveland. They get paid to talk about the Browns. And they said they were going to go to Carolina and get a Baker Mayfield jersey to support him. I don't know what type of cult this is, but I mean, wow. But these are the people that are on your timeline. Weren't you guys critical? See, it is not. I need to show you the lens in the mirror right here. I'm holding it up. So all that talk about the Browns we just want a competent quarterback. No, you don't. You want your pound of flesh because your favorite quarterback is no longer here. Can we continue? I'm just showing you. So we don't have to play this disingenuous role anymore. Like we are even across the board. Some people just don't like him. Some people say some of them throws were insane. The TD they called back was a dime while he was getting drilled, right? Some people can actually see something, and it's like, guys, you talking about quarterbacks should overcome certain things. That is a bunch of crap. That is the biggest load of garbage I've ever seen in my life. Take some responsibility for yourself and stop being over the top extra. That is corny. Like, you can't sit here and say it's Deshaun Watson's fault for another man getting called for holding after he put an 82-yard go-ahead score on the board, and you want to wipe it away like it was Deshaun Watson's fault. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You're better than that. it don't make you a less of a man to say that somebody played well. Like, it's crazy. It would seem like I'm on Twitter with children. Like, it's very evident. The Watson love is something I haven't witnessed by Browns fans towards a Browns quarterback. They scored 10 points. Even take away the holding that negated the Cooper, the offense should at least have 20 by themselves against this defense. Do you see my problem? These guys don't watch football. These guys aren't concerned with offensive line play. They're not concerned with whether or not you can run the football or why you can't. They're not concerned with penalties. They're not concerned with missed tackles. They are concerned with whether or not the Browns win. And we've all sold people that the only reason teams win is because of quarterbacks. And this is the type of tweets that you're going to get, because we've brainwashed people into thinking that you win only because of your quarterback. There's no such thing as complimentary football. Nobody else has to do their job. The quarterback has to block for people, tackle people, coach, serve the concession stands, go out, kiss babies, walk dogs, and that is the reason you win or lose. And it doesn't matter if penalties get called and touchdowns come off the board. As you see, he can't name nobody by one. He's not watching the game. These people aren't watching. They are watching to see whether or not I can validate whether I think Deshaun Watson is good or not. Yay, one good game, pump the brakes. The team still lost and looked lost. All I did is post the numbers. How are you talking about pump your brakes? What is there to pump? I just posted the numbers. You took it this far. Yay, one good game. How are you a Browns fan? I'd be telling y'all, some people root for the team based on the name Cleveland, and some people root for the name of the people they identify with and the names on the back of the jerseys. See, there's one thing about me. I keep it 100. I don't root for nobody other than the people that rock and roll with this team. That's it. You can have a problem and you can say, I could call people out and say they didn't play well. But y'all got a problem. Y'all can't even admit. Like, that shows a big weakness in individuals when you can't admit that somebody, like, I can admit right now, Baker Mayfield is, if they say, hey, did Baker play this week? Sure, he played good. I could tell you this, that, and third. Baker threw a play over there. I thought he really did a good job on that. I don't have no vitriol to Baker Mayfield. It's about football. It's about wins and losses, what the tape say. The emotionalism is just on an all-time high. You got to ask yourself as a man, why are you that emotional and why are you triggered? Because the quarterback of the team that you proclaim you root for had a good game and you're trying to win football games? I think some of y'all like the fact that we 1-3. He played the Raiders without Max Crosby. That should have been a guaranteed W. Can't play a bottom defense like that and lose. The only stat that matters is a W at that point. Who said anything about anybody else? If you're going to say you can't count a dub against that team, how did the defense give up points to no-name receivers and guys that when Devontae Adams ain't playing? How do you give up points to Gardner Minshew? I don't, you cannot have it both ways. And matter of fact, I love it because look, let's stop acting like, I wish we could just throw out the pleasantries and act like we don't got a divided fan base and basically whether you like the quarterback or not. Let's not act like these people is just being completely 100 down the middle. Let's please not stop acting like that. I don't know why people are doing it. You know why they're doing it. Come on now. I think this is the second comment. We'll continue this conversation. I'll never forget, we used to have a quarterback here. Everyone, he didn't win or on the final drive, he got blamed no matter the circumstances. This is the deranged syndrome that we are in. If you think that people are objective, that know the game of football, that are calling balls and strikes on whether Deshaun Watson is good or not, you're insane. there's a substantial amount of people that view Deshaun Watson only through the lens of they got rid of Baker. And until we sit here and we could call a spade, and that's what this whole little exercise is about. Because I don't care. Listen, y'all can have the opinion you want to. You can have whatever you want. I'm not going to be wasting my time trying to convince you that he played well or not. Like NASA and astronauts, they don't convince regular people that, hey, the sky is blue. It's not a shade of purple. You can believe whatever you want to. But here's the thing that we're going to show. Let's stop acting like we got a bunch of honest contributors that are in here talking about balls and strikes and whether a guy played good or not. The real reason is this. Some people are like, wow, Baker's not here. And it's the reason why Baker's name comes up in all the rhetoric. They use Joe Flacco in some of the same ways. They understand that Joe Flacco ain't good enough to win no championship or no Super Bowl. They understand that. They've been saying that. They just saying it because it's a shot at the guy who's a quarterback right now. And as I've told you all before, I get paid to talk about Baker or Joe Flacco or DTR or Jameis Winston. And guess what? All three of them, you can't say I ain't talking about no, because I just happen to be the same color as them. Guess what? Those three guys are black dudes too. I'm going to get paid to talk about any of those guys regardless. So why do I want to put the cape on for Deshaun Watson when it serves no purpose? None. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to call it fair like it is. But here's what we're going to do. We are going to hold the mirror up and show a lot of y'all cats running around here trying to act like y'all honest dealers of the game of football and talk about, I don't think you played that well. Nah, some of y'all just butt hurt. I'm just saying. I just show you what people say. Mind you, I just put the stats up and see what people say. I could have swore you wanted the Browns to win. Why would you be upset that your quarterback had an 86% passing rate? Why would you? I'll never know. With that being said, let's keep it pushing. I'll never know why the heck Jerry Jeudy admitted this to Mary Kay Cabot. Boy, I tell you, we'll come back and talk about this one. This was a troublesome quote, and we'll talk about it coming back next, right here on the Ultimate Browns. Let's talk about the great people over at Game Time, man. Listen, I'll tell you what. Game Time is the place to be when you want to get your tickets. Right now, Guardians is going to be at home. What a better place to get those tickets for the Guardians than Game Time app. Make sure you check them out. Also, Cavs is coming around this season. Game Time app is going to be able to show you all those seats before you even take a look at them. Test drive those seats in the app. Look around. You can get the views from the seat immediately right there on Game Time. And of course, Game Time has the lowest ticket prices guaranteed. And if they wrong, they'll refund you up to 110% of the actual value, the difference between the tickets. So what are you waiting for? Make sure you go to the app, download the app, and use the code word LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off for your first for your first purchase. Once again, download the app, go to the app, and make sure you pick Locked On NFL, LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off of your first purchase. Make sure you check that out. Great for concerts. Right now, Post Malone's going to be in the city. A lot of people going to it. Dustin McNuggets is going to it. You should have been on the Game Time app to get those tickets. Make sure you do it. What time is it? Game Time. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all the sports. G. Busher with you right here on the Ultimate Browns. Make sure you continue to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you know when all of our shows are coming up. Jerry Jeudy had a little something to say. I think he would like these words back. We were on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show today, and Dustin Fox said, this looked bad on the organization when your players come out and say this.
And it's also an indictment on the organization, too.
100%.
Because if you've got players that are not in shape and you took them to Greenbrier and you didn't play them in the preseason and you got guys, it's October.
Yeah, there's no excuse for this. Their
I
job.
put up my Halloween decorations. You're not in shape.
That's right,
Come
guys.
on.
You're supposed to get like, do you know in practice you get like 5 or 6 plays in a row? Like you get like 5 plays.
Isn't that place climate controlled?
This is a.
I told y'all.
Isn't that stadium like 68 degrees?
It's kind of shocking. Like it is.
I told you. Listen.
They let you know what they not. I don't think they. You know what I think.
Go ahead.
You know what I think?
Go ahead.
I could be completely wrong on this.
Go ahead.
I don't think they put the hammer down. Pause. I don't think they just tough on them like they used to. Like I think they had some success last year that they kind of eased off the gas a little bit because that wasn't the case last year. Now I know he wasn't here last year, but that wasn't the case last year. Like I don't understand. What are y'all doing? What are y'all taking plays off in practice? Are y'all not taking reps? Like to me, you're supposed to get yourself in game shape through practice. Like if you know what you got to do, you know you've been playing this game for quite some time. You know what it takes to get yourself ready for the game.
Yeah, if you're not ready.
know a guy. Listen to me. I'll give you an example. I know it when I was in Seattle. Right, I was running with the 3s. Then I got bumped up to the 2s.
You know about the 3 life?
Yeah, you get like 2 reps. So I was with the 3s, but then I bumped up to the 2s for a week. Right. And during the preseason, you know, you get your reps. 1s, 2s, 3s. Obviously, when the season comes, it's 1s, 2s. That's it. Mm-hmm. So one of these, I was backing up Earl Thomas. Earl in the preseason, I come jogging out. Earl will be like, "Go ahead, get yours." Once that season came around, the coach will be like, "Go get Earl." I go run out there and get Earl. He'll do this because Earl knew that he needed to take every rep to be ready for the game because he wanted to be in shape for it. He wanted to see everything.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you're a professional and you don't know what you need to do to get ready for a game. Like, he's right. I would have never said that. I would have never.
I'm gonna tell you what. Make sure you go check out that episode that was today on this episode of Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Tyvis and Dustin, you saw him pointing at him. I was all on it. I just wanted them to say it, so it went crazy. I've been saying this for how long on the Ultimate Browns over here? I've been saying this since they came back. Everybody's out of shape. Everybody's out of shape. And when Jerry Jeudy says, you know, Mary Kay asked the question, you know, what is something everybody has to step up? Everybody has to do their part. What is something that you can be better in and that you want to improve in? That you can improve on in the first 4 games over the next few games. And he was like, well, listen, I need to be, and you work on my conditioning and be in better shape so, you know, I could be out there to play more plays consecutively. And this is something that I've pointed to. I've pointed to multiple times that DeJuan Jones looks, you know, way overweight. I said Joe Bitonio is bigger than I thought he is. I said Myles Garrett is even huffing and puffing, and we know what type of shape Myles Garrett is after the Cowboys game. We see him coming out platooning and coming out, and he's on the sideline taking a knee. So, you know, when we watch this defense and say this defense has no energy, this defense looks sluggish, Martin Emerson looks like he's lost a step and he was never that fast. I mean, you know, these guys are giving cushion. These guys are giving all this cushion to these receivers. It's because I don't think they're in shape. Jed Wills and Jack Conklin are taking so long to get back because they got to work their way into game shape. And it's like, you ask yourself, if you're going to, what did you guys do? You went to the Greenbrier. One of the things that we did, that what happened to us in college was they made practice and conditioning so tough for you that you wanted to practice. If you didn't practice because you were having a hamstring or nothing, they got you doing a boxing workout. They're exhausted. They got you on a hand bike. You know, if you got something wrong with you, these guys are working you out with the trainers and the conditioning staff. And it's so strenuous that you're like, you know what? I'd rather just practice. And it just seems like it just goes back to the camp cupcake stuff, bro. I mean, this is crazy. You got guys that are receivers that are supposed to be running routes for a living. You are in shape for a living. And I know what he's saying, like, don't get it twisted. Don't like, I'm not saying this is something I want to work on. I want to be a dude that can run more reps and I want to be more fresh. But let me just give you this. Your young boy Travis Hunter for Colorado play 120. The dude don't come out of the game. The dude don't come out of the game. He play offense. He the best defensive player. And he ain't just out there in this gap. He making plays, tackles on the goal line. When I'm a player and I'm watching certain things like that, I'm taking that into consideration. I got to have pride in what I'm doing. And I know Jerry Jeudy may have a little knee injury or whatever the case may be, and he was slowed down, but you get paid. Bro, you're supposed to be ready. You're supposed to be with your training staff 24 hours a day. You know what I respect? I respect the fact that Patrick Mahomes is out here running around, and he's doing running drills. If you watch the quarterback, I think it was on Amazon Prime TV, you watch how him and Kirk Cousins and some of these other people, Kirk Cousins is going to a sports therapist. Kirk Cousins is making sure that his body is right, making sure he's doing extra work. This cat, Patrick Mahomes is practicing all kind of different moves and flexibility and running full speed after practice in December and January, working on his conditioning. It's just LeBron, all these guys. It's the price of this. It's the price to being great. And little things like that give you an insight into why the Cleveland Browns are struggling so much. And it's why I push back so much on, and it's not so much that I'm putting a cape on for Deshaun Watson. It's the fact that I understand how freaking hard it is that you need to work out here. You need to be working individually. I take offense to that. Here's what I take offense to. I work on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I work on that show. I work on the Barbershop. I work on the Bleacher Report. I work on all these shows. I take offense to this. Nobody is going to say that they caused me to be terrible. No one's going to cause me to say, I don't care what Bull do. I don't care what Jay do. I don't care what Jason Lloyd do. They could do whatever. I got a responsibility to bring it how I bring it. That's on me. I got a family to feed. I ain't out here talking about I need Jason Lloyd or Bull to win the game. I need to be there and be G. Bush 100%. And that's the problem with our culture and our society. We always looking to be a finger pointer instead of a thumb pointer. DeJuan Jones has a family to feed. To insinuate that it don't matter that he don't block his person and it's on Deshaun Watson is cowardly. You are a coward if you say that somebody else, what they did don't matter. I threw you the ball, you dropped it. But because you focus on that, you can't look at Amari Cooper in the eyes as a man and say, Amari, you got to be better. You better than that. I don't understand this type of logic, man. And this is the stuff that permeates losing football teams. We're sitting here talking about the quarterback every single day, and we got receivers saying, I need to be in better shape. I guess that's Deshaun Watson's fault too. It's losers. It's losing mentality. It's losing mentality. And it permeates your fan base. It permeates the building. And you're always looking to say, it's woe is me. Just like I see fans sitting around saying, oh, it was a ticky-tack foul on Nick Harris. No, it was called. You said it was a ticky-tack foul last week when it was Greg Newsome. You said it was a ticky-tack foul when the kicker sauntered over the 50-yard line and took away a great hit and a great fumble inside our territory. You know why? Because we're soft. We're always looking for the easy way out. Ain't no easy way out. Every man on that roster has to do their job. It is not up to the quarterback to catch the football. It's not up to him to block people. You get paid to do that. Can you say I didn't come to work because Kemen County is having a tough time? It has nothing to do with your job performance. Kemen County and you over in operations ain't got nothing to do with each other. You come to work and you do your job to the best of your ability. And it's time out putting blame on other people for the shortcomings. Call it out. but it's the path of least resistance. You don't want to call that out. It's corny, bro. And it's not the way football works. It's not the way sports works. See, a lot of y'all cats have never played it down in sports and never played nothing, and you watch it on TV and you think it's easy. That's why you bring up money so doggone much. You bring up money all the time because secretly you feel you should be getting that money. You're not worth it. I'm going to be here to tell you. Some of you are not even good at your job. Some will say, I'm not good at my job either. You know the difference between me and you? I just keep showing up. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep getting my money off. I'm going to do more blogs. I'm going to get more hats. I'm going to do all of that. It's not about what people say. It's about what you wish in your mind and how you go out and go after it. And right now, the Cleveland Browns ain't going after it. We get back. We got one more segment to go right here on the Ultimate Browns. We come back. We talk about Nick Chubb. He's coming back. Don't look for a savior. I'm telling you that right now, right here on the Ultimate Browns. Speaking of, shout out to the Guardians. Everything I said in that last break, they don't make no excuses. And guess where it got them? Right here in the first round bye, looking to take on either the winner of the with Detroit Tigers or the Astros. We'll be ready to go. Listen to Adam the Bull and Zach Meisel. They'll have a post-game show after every single game in the in this October in this pennant run for the Guardians. Jason Lloyd, Mikey McNuggets, they was over at doing a thing over at what's the name over at Media Day. Shout out to them. Season's ramping back up. Check out the Ultimate Cavaliers with Jason Lloyd and Mikey McNuggets. Earl the Pearl is locked and loaded, ready to go. Ultimate 216, Mr. Sports and Culture. Make sure you check that out. And it's me, your boy G Bush, the biggest homie in the charge. Two videos a week. You know how we deliver it right here on the Ultimate Browns. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all the sports. G Bush with you as well. Make sure you continue to support and subscribe to the channel. Nick Chubb returns. We talked to Mary Kay Cabot today. Nick Chubb is scheduled to return to practice on Wednesday, and that's really good news, man. Kevin Stefanski obviously won't put anything out there. They asked him whether or not he's going to be available and ready to go. But even if he's not ready this week, it's just a good sign. And I know how it is. And I know Nick Chubb is really chomping at the bit to get back out there to help his team, especially because the Browns are 1-3, and it should give him a little shot in the arm. However, be honest with you, we got to keep it real. Right now, the Browns are not playing well up front. Right now, the Browns' offensive line is not very good, and right now they're not getting any movement. If you take away the 35-yard run for Jerome Ford, the Browns were putrid offensively in terms of the push up front. The Browns have not been good on their protection schemes, and we talked about it. The loss of Bill Callahan as the run coordinator is basically rearing his ugly head. He was the guy that schemed up a lot of that stuff. We talked about it. The run game coordinator right now is a first-year head coach. We talked about that on UCSS now. It's the first year he's ever been a coach in the NFL, and he's in charge of your run game. I asked Mary Kay Cabot about that, and she talked about how it's more of a collaborative effect with Kevin Stefanski, Dorsey, all these new individuals that are going collectively in order to get the running game back together and taking over those duties. It hasn't been good. Nick Chubb definitely helps that out a lot, and he will help you in those areas and circumstances. But the one thing I want to caution people is this. Again, I don't like savior mentalities. The Cleveland Browns, they don't need a savior. They need everybody to do their damn job. And the quicker we get out of this save me mentality, the quicker we go back and get back to the mentality that we had last year. And on defense, you can see it as well. Guys are counting on Myles Garrett to go out there and fire him up. That's not his job. Zadarius Smith got to show up. That's not, the guys, Martin Emerson has to show up. Grant Delpit got to show up. Everybody up front got to show up. It ain't one person's job to get it going. And right now, that's why we're 1-3, because we're worried about guys trying to cover up from certain things and the run game will get better. Nah, we supposed to be adding Nick Chubb, and we supposed to be able to take care of Nick Chubb to keep him upright while he get his footing, not the other way around. He ain't supposed to be coming in here to be no Messiah. He's supposed to come in here and give us a little boost where he can. But if you think Nick Chubb going to be in here getting 24, 25, 26 carries these first few, that's not what it is. It's not what it is. We got to do our part. The line got to offer more push. They got to do a better job of scheming it up from the coaching staff, and they got to be able to stop shooting themselves in the foot when you have an opportunity to win football games. And so I'm excited to see Nick Chubb. I don't think he'll play this week. I don't even think he'll play the week after that. I think you're shooting to see Nick Chubb week 7, maybe week 8. To me, I've always said week 8, you want to give him a good opportunity to get some contact these next few weeks. And so he knows that he's safe, secure, and fully 100% ready to go when he gets back on the field. Hit me in the comment section. Do you think Nick Chubb will play this year? Is Nick Chubb going to be a guy that you're going to count on that's going to come up this week or next week? And what week do you think you'll see Nick Chubb? Hit me up in the comment section and let me know what you think about that. With that being said, we talked about Deshaun Watson. We got to Jerry Jeudy. We got to Nick Chubb. We just have to play better. The main focus for me moving forward is accountability. And accountability is, if Deshaun Watson play okay, great. If he play bad, I'm going to say it. If the offensive line improves, I'm going to give him credit for it. But if they come back and suck the next game, I'm going to say it. Evaluation happens based on the tape, and it happens week to week. Ain't no emotions in this. I'm not getting no extra sandwiches, no extra money, no extra kickback for saying Deshaun Watson played good or bad. My integrity is involved in watching the film, the all 22, listening, running my stuff by people that know or in the know, that play offensive line like the Joe Thomases, that play quarterback like the Sean Kings and the Bernie Kosars, and then we take a look at the production and we go from there. But other than that, listen, guys, get your head together. And the Browns need to come out here and get a win. You're playing a rookie. He's looking good. But guess what? I'm encouraged because I think, I'm be honest with you, based on what I saw, it's one of the better performances of Deshaun Watson. And the first things first, I'm not delusional. It does start with the quarterback, right? He does have to be transcendent. You see my blog last week. But the thing is, we need some supporting cast too. That being said, it's your boy G. Bush. Have a great evening and go Browns.